my parents actually allowed me to go and live with a strangers, a family that I don't even know. Because I did like that Camp America thing.
Un-Zimbabwean.
Very un-Zimbabwean.
But very progressive and open-minded. I get that. I feel it.
Were you naughty as a child?
Was I naughty as a child? I'm a firstborn. So
So you've
just
always
let that-
exuded qualities of responsibility.
Yeah,
and
because I'm thinking
Don't
if
never
you were naughty as a child, they were like, no, let's try another family.
Yeah.
Let's offload it.
Let's but wow.
Yeah, change the program. They're like, no. In the start. Maybe they go America because of America no shooter.
Yeah.
What passport are you on?
Yanga red shamwari. By that time,
You can't
my parents, my mom sorted it out.
Because someone.
No, can it be?
Yeah.
But also, this part Shishesa organ. Tudakuchi zodzo. Shiremerera.
Oh my God.
Shiremerera.
Yo Imi unganayitimbo sasa pano panika nyaya kari kupisa. We just wanna talk about it machitsika. Welcome. Oh, you know what time it is. Send it to your friends so they also be a part of this. You cannot describe what you feel, huh? We're taking Zimbabwe to the world, huh? Yeah, this is Black and Forth. Welcome. This is Black and Forth.
Yeah. Hoyoski.
Hoyones.
Hoyoski.
Hoyozaishe.
Get on the vocals.
No, Hoyozaishe, guys. That's just.
There's some people who deserve vocals just for my coffees.
Just
one or two.
We had some. We had to return to the coffee life.
Wouldn't be too excited about it.
Yeah, but it's,
something.
Hey, what is it?
Something.
Is it the time of the year?
No. Kunyima cheko because this is month.
This must be generous. Summer, sun's out. Do you know how friendly people are when the sun is shining?
Like, I don't understand.
Like, what is this?
The only people who are excuse to tumira mari is van out of Zimbabwe because I know to receive the governor is like wow. Kauma.
That's
Let me find these. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's another episode of Black and Forth. I know you can see the settings.
You can see it.
I know you can see it.
Don't worry.
I know you can see it.
Don't act like you don't.
We're very, very excited. Incredibly excited because we have a first woman guest.
Wait, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, our baddie in chief wasn't necessarily a guest.
She wasn't. She was a co-host.
She was a co-host.
So, yeah.
But as far as guest goes.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So we have
Taseta my record,
welcome.
That's what you do, girl. You're a trendsetter, girl. You're a trendsetter. Free the hair. The hair, you just know this ain't no regular.
This is Nyasha Michelle.
Hi guys. Which I must say, you know what?
Yeah.
I told you earlier, innit?
Yeah.
I have to say this.
Yeah.
I did the hair myself.
Something about Zimbabwean women and not wanting to pass this man.
Who said it was about that?
They're like, no.
No, it is about
that was...
these girls charge an arm and a leg to do your hair. Yeah? And sometimes they also give you attitude. What's the point?
No, one thing I clocked, women's hair, ridiculous.
Yeah.
But they make up for it in clothes. Women's clothing, cheap.
Yeah.
Like a woman could look...
And they have
10 out of 10.
And they have so many options.
Literally.
Bro.
£30 outfit from hembe to boot to like looking to the nines. Temu Sheen.
Yeah.
Them man. Man, them £40, that's a jumper.
Oh,
do
it.
Yeah.
Do
it's peak out here.
No. Welcome, ladies. It's bound to be an exciting episode. Mr. Nasha is here. As you can see, he has a new station. Yaka decorate or what? What's going on there?
Mm-hmm.
We'll never tire.
Matopus Gin,
our sponsors.
Yeah.
I saw you guys last time where were onto me with
Nah,
my whole Mazoe
Mazoe
mix. But I could tell you're just jealous because you're not drinking.
Yeah.
But but
You had to point that
yeah,
out.
man, it's nice. It's hey, and I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it took you.
No,
it took you to a nice place.
It touches.
Afterwards, he just went upstairs and slept.
It's like see Alima.
It's like earlier.
Yeah, you just.
When I said you just want to knock out.
No, but it wasn't. But you know what? I was
just went
nice.
upstairs and taking nice.
I was a little nice.
And I think
I was a little
also
nice.
he was seated the entire time.
Yeah, and sometimes you have to get
So
up.
you know there was no. He was seated, so it also properly touched him.
Yeah,
My
no,
parts
it touched me. It's nice.
I got searched my intestines.
Yakandimbundi.
Mese. Was smoother.
That's
So get yourself some topos gin.
Get that.
Nice
It
price.
would be nice to know if some of you guys actually let me know if
Yeah.
someone
Yeah.
actually went and bought this.
And how's it
as
tasting?
of last episode, and how's it tasting? But
The simple
I dig
truth of the matter is, guys, mukazatenga a scenery at sponsor.
We don't look good.
Vanoti amona influence. So we need you guys to actually buy this because otherwise it's
Sanzi, your old talk, old back, no bite.
Saka, at the very least, we got website where some cut.
At least
I know,
rather not
it's a-
abandoned cats.
At least, but I was tenga machine. I don't know from personal experience, but Dakiro, you know, it's from Nasha. Those are.
You already know.
I know.
I don't know Naga.
Second-hand enjoyment.
Yeah, I don't know Naga.
Nyasha is having some coffee.
Yes.
No, she's having coffee.
Just a little
That's
bit of.
that's from also another sponsor of ours, Mama Eater.
Yeah, that's
our
what we do.
big sponsor. Thank you so much for allowing us to
Magona,
use
big
the
boss.
studio. And yeah, man. Coffees was big shout out to Rumbi.
Rumbi, shout out to yourself.
Let me get this because I don't want to get this wrong.
Yeah, because paneka session kamakapinda kema coffees, guys. I don't know.
I don't.
Yeah, it had me a little because when we started, you guys spoiled us. You know, I was like, yeah, generosity.
Yeah. What's going on? Tanja to take a GOE by end of month.
Like,
Shout out to Unicorn. Answer. This is for episode 73 of Saturday in the Morning. Also, thank you guys for being very palatable and enjoyable podcast. Very refreshing. Made bus rides to work and layovers really interesting. Should I go do that? Should I go fly? Each?
Hey, that was a nice way of
Yeah.
just sliding it
Layovers,
in, you
flex.
know?
no. But I like the starter
Yeah.
here. Humility. Bus
man.
rides.
Yeah.
Bus
You know,
rides.
I do catch buses too.
Yeah.
He's got
But
to
I
catch a
also
bus
be on
from
these
one
laybacks.
terminal to the
Yeah.
other. That's all it is.
Yeah.
That's literally all it is.
Yeah.
Right?
Shuttle bus,
Full
right?
layers.
Oh, yeah.
Come on. You see, it's the shuttle bus.
Shout out to
It ain't no
Room
red
B.
bus.
Anzana Room B, this is my top up about nice and 5 coffees.
5 coffees.
People thought I was playing about that leaderboard. That leaderboard is definitely going to be on this podcast because now I have a machine to be doing all this crazy stuff.
Yes.
So there's going to be a leaderboard of who's leading the pack when it comes to all these coffees. Mdara, she's in Kendrick.
Okay.
And I'd pop out and show
Can't
niggas.
make him.
I'll
can't
pop
make
out
it
and show niggas. Actually, I'm like,
Pop up and pop off and
like what's going on? Sometimes you have to pop out and show niggas.
They are not like me.
They're not
Like
like
Chagaroa, Pazimi Pop.
Because honestly,
They are not like Wasu.
honestly speaking, people were like, "Yeah, back by popular demand.
Yeah.
Bring back the artwork."
We are listening.
And then they're like, "Yeah, sell it here, yeah,
Nah,
chita visa.
no more
We
selling.
curbed it, but then now you're
Shagu. Yagurembera.
But it's still standing.
Yeah. Like
That's the
us.
most important.
Those are tea.
But welcome to the podcast, Nyasha.
Thank you for having me.
So
You know the thing is, isuka magatisia tichita carry on. Trongoita a little too candid.
Like
Don't nature ye yeshunoitika panapa.
the basic concept is
It's fine.
I mean
Go ahead.
it looks different, but tripa jurao.
Tripa juro.
Like this is how you talk to
Aibo.
this is how you talk to one but jurao.
Pagorunga.
So usually isusu kanatritega obviously but jurao there's a lot of nonsense that we say misogyny.
Misogyny.
And on the green, but now takunyara iwewe because BBC Nyasha and whatnot.
In fact, uruto tika off inadvertently to take off my EDI quotas.
I
No, proper
Because
proper
we
DI.
didn't even earn our
No,
places.
no,
We need a little more.
that's not even the case because
Shut Kamala Harris, you know.
Icho.
Did you see for a second I almost spotted him?
You did.
And then the
You
wise
did,
woman in me,
you
you
did.
know?
It
the
was like,
clever
hold
black
up.
woman was
No.
like,
Like,
hold up.
What's
They
going
said,
on?
Oh,
Exactly.
You're a journalist
Yes.
and you work for one of the most reputable organizations,
media houses.
Yeah.
you know. Tell us, walk people into, don't just flex on them kawan, like you start them a bias, then was what lay over.
Yeah.
Walk
And
them
then
into.
start with the
Right.
bus and then
Who's-
what to layover.
Who's Nyasha Michelle?
Also trailer special.
Tozopinda mu
Yeah, what do you
private
do?
jet, auntie.
Mhm.
So what do I do?
Yeah.
Okay, so like you said, I'm
Yeah.
a journalist.
Yeah.
I work at BBC.
A whole British Broadcasting
BBC in the house.
British
Hey,
Broadcasting ZBC of England.
BBC in the house. Amazing. How long have you been at the BBC?
Since 2017.
God damn it.
7 years.
It's a while, man.
at least.
That's
Like
a
people
wow.
stay reminding me. Like when I say that, people are like, "Oh, that's." I'm like,
It's
yeah.
a minute.
I think what's
Like,
even
I
crazy.
don't
Yeah, no, Kendrick.
Kendrick.
So you've been since 2017,
Yeah.
and what's even crazy is that
2017? 2018?
2019,
Yeah.
2020, then COVID. But what's even
Yeah.
crazy is that you are still very, very young.
It's like as long as there's no expectation for me to say my age.
No.
I mean, I ain't- I ain't
No, you're not.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
but
you're
you're
young.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're very young,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Very young.
So you were even younger in 2017.
I was-
How does that happen? Like that's what I'm interested to know. Like how in 2017, how does BBC happen?
So, where do I even start? You know when you have those stories that you're like, hey, my way, no tangira papi. Because, truth be told,
Yeah.
journalism is my second career.
Oh, what?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, long story short, I used to work in like hospitality industry, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
So I used to manage or do like different types of work with like luxury properties, etc. So I've actually lived. So this is my little quick timeline.
Yeah.
Born and raised in Zim,
Mhm.
came here to the UK and did like school and college.
Age
so I was
what?
here 12.
Yeah.
So I was here for like 6 years.
Yeah.
And then started traveling. So the first time I just went to America for like summer.
Yeah.
My parents actually allowed me to go and live with like strangers, a family that they don't even know. Because I did like that Camp America
Very
thing.
un-Zimbabwean.
Very
Very
un-Zimbabwean.
but very
Progressive.
progressive and open-minded. I get that. I
Yeah.
feel it.
Were you naughty as a child?
Was I naughty as a
Yeah.
child? Hey, I'm a firstborn. So
Okay.
So you've
Just
always
let that-
exuded
You like
qualities of responsibility.
Yeah.
And
Because I'm thinking
Don't
if
never
you were naughty as a child, they were
like-
like, no, let's try another family.
Yeah.
Let's let's offload it.
Let's but wow.
Hey, change the program. They're like,
no.
Vatete in the start.
In the
Maybe they go America because America vanoshuda.
Mimi ndageza maoko.
Veko America vanoshuda. Chikanesa ikoko shongonzi dashu gumbo.
Dashu.
So you go to America?
Yeah, so I went to America, lived with this Jewish Ukrainian family actually.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Wowee.
mad. It was really cool. Like I'm like 18.
Would be
First
tense if it was
experience.
now.
Yeah,
That-
talk about it.
Jewish and Ukraine.
Ooh.
You don't know what to do. Sorry. They don't know what to Murushmanya. Let's quickly move on.
Keep moving.
Let's
All right, cool. Anyways, I stayed with that family, which is an amazing experience.
How long did you stay with them? Sorry.
It was like the whole of summer.
It was a summer.
So it was a summer thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
It was a summer thing,
okay,
but
fair.
like maintained relationships with the mother, and
course.
especially which was really cool. So summer thing came back, and then I started university, and then throughout my university career, I went to work in Greece for one summer, came back to the UK for a day, moved to America for a second time to do university. So I was like an exchange student at University of Central Florida.
Fine.
Yeah.
What passport are you on?
Young guy red Shamwari. By
yeah.
that time,
You can't
my
be-
parents,
because-
my mom sorted it out.
Because someone.
No, can it be?
Yeah.
Karambo Groera uri mu airport kuri. Ndaneta.
You guys are clowns.
So wait. You get here. How soon did you get this red passport?
Literally, whilst I was still 12 years old.
Let's
No. Wait. No, the stay. Like, like indefinite leave.
Yeah.
It's whilst I was still like 12.
I get
Maybe
that.
at the very latest 13, but I think it's whilst I was still 12. Because my mom just sorted things out immediately. And being a child, anyways, it's easier.
Yeah. When you
But my red passport, I got it when I was 17, and I just worked really hard.
fire.
Kunaona watu wa chechi ibomba wewe.
Tinoona mata Jehovah chaiyo.
God.
Kana mchida kwenda maso.
God.
Guys, all night prayer come through.
Kana usina wada
I'm
passion
coming.
Java una passport.
Unakuonenza. Kana uchenda kuchechi ya madungwe. Unakuonenza.
Nah, red passport ya urwana.
Hakuna urwana.
Because you
Aye,
mentioning
wa-
all this traveling, right? But at this point, you've mentioned America twice. You've done Greece. You've done all these places, and I'm like, yo,
Yeah, it's okay. Carry on. I've got some questions, but they'll come after. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay, cool. So I finished in America, come back, and then I moved to New Zealand for a year.
Jesus.
So there, I was like, when you're studying certain courses, you can do a year in industry.
Oh yeah.
Nyasha Michelle ain't about UK. Why are we staying in the UK? I actually had my eyes set on Australia, and then I met.
Kind of like the Erasmus thing they do in hospitality when Britain was still in the EU.
Yeah.
We always had the exchange.
Yeah.
Okay,
So technically,
I
I did the Erasmus, but because I wasn't in Europe, I did an exchange when I went to Florida.
Okay.
But then this time, it was literally like if you don't want to graduate immediately, you want to get some work experience in the industry, get a job wherever. It doesn't matter. But me, I always want to. Let's do the most.
what's that?
Yeah. So then I moved to New Zealand. Shout out to all my Zims in New Zealand because I legit thought I was going to be the only black person. But my Zimba very quest.
there.
Yeah.
The amount of Zimbabweans I met.
Box. The chicken box in the middle.
Like, yay.
Yeah, so I was there for a while. Then I came back, finished university. Then I moved semi-permanently to America. So when I moved to America, I was working in like this hotel, and like as a management trainee, all that jazz. And then, by this time you can tell that I'd done a lot of traveling. But all those times I always knew kuti nchadzokera kumba, nchadzokera ku UK. But this was like, that's it. I've graduated. I'm not coming back. So I was like, you know what? I have to ensure that I meet people. Like I make friends, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So that's how this directly linked to why I'm now a journalist. So I kid you not, when I moved to America, first 2 weeks, I'm staying in the hotel for free, and I'm like, you're sorting out all your different things, your social security number, blah, blah, blah. It's like and you're not, I wasn't driving. So I started, Kendrick.
I think shomdzikisa. Shongoisa paside because actually yeah. Did Drake.
Yeah, it's Drake's spirit. So
you're sorting out your stuff in the hotel.
So I was always like traveling around, going on the bus, whatever, trying to just go to new places, like going to the bank and stuff. And people, it sounds weird to me, but like legit, this used to happen to me. Loads of people that I didn't know, used to ask me, do you model? Like they would stop me.
Yeah.
Are you a model? And I'm like,
she's like, yo, I was a baddie from
Albadina!
Still shining in
Still
the shining.
The club is always pumping. The bottles of Bacardi and it's in the
On
body.
the bus.
You what? Diremo Batsy. Yeah.
She's like, me? Model? No. I'm just a young girl from Zimbabwe.
those are later titles.
Okay.
I'm just a young girl.
I'm
just a no violent from the names.
Yeah. No violent, but I'm darling.
You guys,
I'm done.
I can't.
Okay, so So you're on the bus.
Yeah, I'll be on the bus. I'll be like walking, just walking through Trenda. I actually
Mo
remember
America.
in America.
Macho me my berries.
There, exactly. And I just look like,
Wait, your pizza.
but it didn't make sense because I'm like, guys, I look the
Chopin.
same way. I just came from UK 2 days ago.
Yeah.
You know, I look the same. But I think it was looking back, I know that it was like God's way of kind of steering me in a direction.
Fair, fair.
Because after, like, I don't even know, the umpteenth person asked me this. I was like, maybe this is a sign. So I was like, all right, maybe I'll consider it. And then randomly, this guy, the last person to have said this when I eventually like took it seriously, was a model himself.
Oh, right.
So he asked me, and I was like, you know what? You're the whatever person keeps asking me this. I don't know why. And I just got to this country.
Yeah.
I was actually on my way to meet my host mom, the lady I told you guys, like, you know, part of the family that I stayed with. I was on my way to DC, and he was like, no, I'm a model. I could help you out. I was like, hey, okay,
Rah.
cool. 2 days later, I'm in a shop, one of the shops I used to love to go to, and they were looking for models.
Hey, when?
So I was like, if it ain't a sign, I don't know what it is.
My omens.
We
You
need
know?
to do what Jesus that you guys are subscribed to, because some of these things are 12 years old. Red passport. All this.
Yeah, I don't know what God was doing. So
And
I was
my
Not
like,
tied there.
to not tithe that we don't
Okay.
play.
Okay,
10%.
Because we ain't giving it to the church, we're giving it to Jesus Christ, we're giving it to God. Whatever the pastors do with
because
it.
at this point you all worry, Mari. I
Yeah.
want this.
And I
You
just
know,
say,
at this
hey,
point,
run
hey,
me some of these.
Hey.
Sha manigas is 15 angachi nguvunza kuti remote ufunga kuti angachibva kupi. Come on.
Nah, man.
They're working
Antika,
on my
vakango-
clock. Come on.
So
Yeah.
in this shop, then you
Yeah, so I was like, okay, if this is not a sign, that has
is
to be.
it,
So I just went back to my hotel room and I Googled like, because I didn't have, they wanted a portfolio. I don't have that.
Of course.
So I just Googled like photographers in Baltimore.
Agency, of
Right.
course. Yeah.
So I did that. And then I went to the next day, I jumped, whatever, maybe it wasn't immediately the next day, but throughout sometime in that week, I booked a photo shoot with this random company, came up on Google, I don't know them. And then I'm on the bus. Guess what the bus driver asked me?
Are you a model?
Yeah.
Of course.
I was like,
like that.
damn, this is weird.
Sure.
right
So-
around which year is this? Because we have
2013.
2013.
2013.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so then I get there and then I do the shoot, and then turns out I actually ended up building a good relationship with the photographers. It was a couple, a black couple.
Okay.
Turns out they are definitely at that stage the best photographers in Baltimore.
Oh, nice.
Jazzy
Wow,
Studios,
Nice.
you know.
You're the people's person.
Shout out to Jazz.
You know?
to be our
Okay,
organizer.
can I ask something? I have to ask because I know the whole headshots portfolio rated
Yeah.
getting your kind of greening together. More often than not, considering 2013 young babes, it's a costly endeavor
Yeah.
to a degree,
Yeah.
especially if you're gonna get renowned good photographers that are worth the fucking, How are you financing this? How are you bankrolling this? Considering I'm assuming you don't have a green card and you don't
Yeah.
necessarily have right to work in that way.
So I when you get a sponsorship or when you get an opportunity to go to live in or work in America, you have to have
Of course,
a-
bank statements and whatnot. You've got some livable funds.
pretty
on
much.
you.
So I used the
Okay.
money that I had.
So you just when you came back to the UK, you've been just grinding, amassing ka budget cargo and
Yeah.
dipping.
Yeah. So that's what we had to do.
Cause no plan.
You have to go with a plan, you know.
You go, I like that. I like
Yeah.
that. I feel it.
But the plan when you went to America was to do this, graduate trainee hospitality management
Yeah.
thing. Where's that plan now in these 2 weeks?
It was still there. So that's
Yeah.
the thing. I was actually still working there.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones who sponsored me.
Yeah.
The modeling thing was like, because like I said, right, when I decided, okay, I'm going there, right,
Yeah.
as in like to live,
Yeah.
I was like, God, I legit need something that's going to help me to find lifelong friends, because you're not just going and then you're going to come back in 9 months
Yeah.
or in 3 months. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I wanted to have like a full experience. And I think that was one of the reasons why this happened to me. Because after I went and I took those pictures and I started doing this modeling thing, No one ever asked me, are you a model? Nobody. Hapana kana munhu. Hapana.
That is
Seriously.
that
No
is
one
like,
came to me and asked me.
That's crazy.
that is
Yeah.
the beautiful irony of the
That's
universe,
crazy.
bro. Like, it's so funny.
I find it really weird.
It's like Takshusa, we wanted to get you. That's fine.
That's it.
Now carry on.
You know, now you've
snap.
done it.
So
Yeah,
no one's
so-
asked.
No one's asked.
You're a model.
Nah, after that, no one asked. And when people first started asking me, legit, I used to think, okay, this is weird because like why are you asking me this? Nobody ever
Wait,
asked
so
me this
did
in
you
the UK.
end up
Did you
getting
find an
any
agency?
modeling jobs or
I
what?
did.
Oh, amazing.
Oh,
I actually
fire.
did. Yeah. So I started just like a lot of the things I was doing, like I was doing voluntary and stuff like that. And then I did other jobs. I don't even know if I can say that here. But anyways.
This is the People's Podcast. You can say
Podcast,
anything
yeah,
and
man.
everything.
Boys, let me tell you something about one thing I'm so proud of with this podcast.
Yeah.
We have very, very cool viewers, watchers, listeners, audience. They're very, very level-headed. Like,
It's very. You would think we blog people.
Yeah,
Often,
but we don't.
It's been a very nicely
it's
curated.
nice look like a bubble, okay, where
I mean,
people
from-
are just
From time to time,
they get it.
one.
They
but
get it.
for the most part. Yeah.
Pane times inini ndinotomboti unozarwa hivi when it is ndo tsika papi. I've
But
done that before, and I'm like,
feel free.
disclaimer, disclaimer, and then I
But-
land, and people are like,
What
And I'm like,
was that
oh.
disclaimer? Please
That's
share.
the safe. Exactly. I was about to say that's the share whatever you want. That's a
Yeah.
safe space.
It's an extremely safe space.
super.
Yeah.
I mean, if it turns out to not be safe, we'll just delete it.
Anyway.
Should don't be
Because
safe.
we're
But
also
anyways.
very
We're also
got your
very-
back like that.
Yeah, we got you.
True.
Yeah.
If you ever decide with Anna, that's a funga.
All right. Yeah. So, anyways, I did that. So I was doing it alongside like my actual job,
Yeah.
and then that just like opened up different doors.
Yeah.
Fun fact that I even forget that this is in my past life. I don't want to call it past life, but whatever. That stage of my life is I met different people through this whole modeling thing.
Yeah.
And some of the coolest people I met were Zimbabweans.
Wow.
How did they meet me? They started listening to me on radio. Because how did I get into radio? Whilst I was doing this modeling thing, I started meeting different people. Then these guys now come. Because God was like, okay, we have another mission for this girl. I'm going to shoot, in the studio because my family has come to visit me. My sister is a singer. Shout out to Natalie Okri. So she's in a studio, right, with this like American producer, whatever. He brings some people in to come and like do some filming. And these American guys are like, your voice. Do you know how much like American people love like the British voice, the British accent, plus you're black. You should do radio. And I was like, oh, hell no. I've already got a full plate, I'm like, I've got a really full life, like work and then social life and all this stuff. But I was just like, nah, it's okay. They're like, no, we know someone who runs a radio station, who owns it, you should do it. And I was just like, it's fine. The next day I go to work, this lady was in the laundry department, she stops me and I think you guys can guess what she asked me.
Are you on radio? Are you a model?
She said, do you do radio?
Mwari wa Elsa Majimbo. Mwari wa Nyasha Michelle.
Zora kazodzo. Ndada toti zora zorawo. Tudaita right. At this point, no. Bata unashesa msoro kunoko. This part I'm going to insert an organ. Bata msoro. This part shishesa organ. Tuda kuti zodzo. Shiremerera.
Oh my God.
Shiremerera. Hauna kubviswa wakasarudzwa. Hallelujah. Rababa kashandra.
Mwari wa Elsa Majimbo.
Because what the fuck?
Mwari wa Nyasha Michelle.
Because what the
Mwari wa Anzani KB, where the nigga who doesn't speak, where TikTok, where
Like,
Oh my gosh. That one? Yeah.
leave it. Because at this point, Wi-Fi.
Magana wasisipo msati pfunzi.
Yeah.
Don't ask.
No. So then you're like, again, it's a sign.
Yeah, so because I'd learned from before,
Yeah,
I was like,
you're
I'm not
like,
going to get other people like
Let me
to
listen.
ask me the same thing. So I called the guy and he was like, you made the right decision. Gave me the station owner's number.
Yeah.
And then like I had a chat with him and he was like, we're looking for a presenter for this show called FM Radio 101.
Yeah.
It's fashion and music radio.
Yeah.
We've got a guy who is a music producer, and we've got a guy who's like a designer, and we just need somebody else, like a woman as well, who's in one of these industries. Definitely, fashion would be great. And I was like, hey, and here I am, like I'm modeling at this time.
I'm there.
Then he was like, you fit perfectly, and then we just started like doing that show. I was just like one of the co-hosts, and then a few times I like would produce, so get guests in. So I'm now dabbling into broadcasting. It's all for fun. But I'm not realizing that I'm like, you know,
This is your
planting
training.
seeds.
This
Yeah.
is your training. These are the balancing wheels.
Yeah. So, which is a bit mad. So I did that. And then sometimes we used to, you know what they do like on Charlemagne the Gods, like the Breakfast Club, whatever. You can see everybody whilst they're doing their...
Yeah.
So we used to do that. And there's a few people who are Zimbabwean who started listening.
Oh.
Yeah. And now, next thing I know, like, you know, I'm getting like, you know, supporters and all this stuff. And then I ended up, a few of them started becoming good friends because they were reaching out on socials. But I was very like, but, you know.
It's America.
It's, you know, it's your people's. I don't have any relatives there, by the way. So,
Really?
of course, every time I go there, I'm starting like afresh and by myself. The only family I do have, they're like further up and I've never really spent time with them. So technically, I'm just by myself. So I was like, hey, some fellow Zims.
Yeah.
Cool. Those people became like really good friends. And then my reference to my past life that I didn't even realize, I forget sometimes. One of my friends kept pushing me to do Miss Zim USA.
Oh.
I was like, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I'm a pageant.
Snap.
Yeah.
Pageantry.
So the first year happened, I didn't do it. Then the second year, he was sending me contacts of other girls who did it, like Nyasha. Like, I think you should really do it. This guy was, you know, when people are just your supporters. And then I ended up doing it. So I did Miss Zim USA. I think that was 2014. And
How did that fare out?
How did that happen?
Third princess, second princess, something like that.
Yay!
So,
Yo,
yeah.
wait.
Top 3.
Albertina!
That's it. Yeah.
Yo, wait. So
I always forget about it.
how did you end up now BBC?
So how I ended up at
how
BBC,
did the BBC thing happen?
when I left
Yeah.
America,
Yeah.
Wapedza modeling zvangu.
ndapedza
Wapedza America, yes. Waita modeling, waita hotel, waita radio,
Waita radio.
which was all just on the side, by the way, because I'm still doing like my actual main
This
job.
is the thing that we say when we say Zimbabweans in laying low.
Yeah.
Waenda kunoshanda kuhotera within a week wakuita modeling.
Wakuita
Waita radio.
Amukone.
When she left the people were like, whew. Kanga chitora mabasa.
Kanga chimapukuta.
Hey!
Yes. Damn it.
People would see you in panic.
As a matter of fact,
do you know what was happening? Do you know what was happening with all the jobs that she kept getting? People see Nyasha and they can see that aura and they deflect.
You know, it's aura
The bus driver sees and says, I don't want to trap.
No.
Do you do modeling?
Unoita modeling.
The laundry lady sees her coming, she's like, you have a voice? Because how does the laundry lady know your voice is for radio?
Stay away from me.
That's crazy. So you BBC.
BBC
Yeah.
came back to the UK, chilling for a while, working, whatever. And then I joined this church, and then some people say to me, you guys are going to see a pattern.
Yeah.
I'm seeing already the patterns established.
I meet a few people at this church, and one of the guys, multiple of them are like, oh, what do you do? I was like, oh, I work in hotels. They're like, I legit thought you were a TV presenter. And I was like, no. And it's like, no, like, this really is like something you should pursue. They knew someone.
Are you prayerful throughout all of this? Okay.
That relationship with God is serious, guys.
It would be a very big thing to say that I'm as
You're right.
There's no way, you know.
I just be
I'm
raw
just like
dogging
that.
life.
I don't got you need some that way.
Makosa akanenjitomaisa but do not disturb.
I don't want that.
I'm going to miss call.
Okay, prayer is a very consistent throughout.
has to
So
be,
yeah, because this new thing is happening as church.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So I just started doing that. So the church had like a TV station.
Right.
So they were like, yeah, you should come and start presenting. So I did that for a while.
Yeah.
So
And
what
then-
was my Bible verse on Papa?
Johnny Bodini.
Teacher Dotty, do you want to give your life to Jesus Christ live on air? You
What
know?
did just down the lens?
Down the line, you know?
Did you say amen?
I
No,
can-
Please
like
tell me.
that.
Please,
No.
no, but do not drop a hallelujah.
That's a little unfair though, because imagine, Urgunzi, do you want to turn your life to Christ? Name a berries.
I've got no choice.
Now I'm joining
My
church
hands
for the
are
wrong
tied.
reasons. Mwari, those are my direction,
my
God.
God.
God,
Was a Vina mchezo was ko we are ngari bati we are kubi.
I've been just Masimba Mwari.
Because was my diko na ndiri kuona vana ba asiri vamakandradza pa brochure
Yo, hey yo.
takafana kwakumu.
Kutoku.
Sorry.
I was just about to say to your listeners, like, and your
Sorry.
viewers, how do you people do this? How do you take these two?
Sorry,
I
Nyasha,
can't
sorry.
even be serious. I'm trying to stop myself from like
Sorry.
kicking like crazy.
No.
out here.
Panaba we kiki.
No,
Panaba.
no,
That
no,
nigrikini.
no.
Panaba because you know what? Panaba people we understand. The world is stressful, man.
Nah, it is actually.
Like the world is like right now. Imagine there's somebody
Them that
watching
people
from
wanna
America
have a
right
gig.
now. Hella stressed about this Biden, Trump shooting, what voting, what's going to happen, women rights, Roe v. Wade has
All
just
of
been,
this.
is it going to come back, Supreme Court? There's a chance that all these things, right? In Zim, there's somebody listening to this in traffic. They're like, what time am I going to get home? In South Africa, it's the same thing. So it's like, you get a pocket of once a week. These guys come and spew on us. Like,
Nonsense.
there's very important information
Nah,
that
you're
you're getting.
right,
You know,
Yeah.
there's
If
a
you
young girl
rummage
listening to
through,
this,
yeah.
right? This young girl listening to this, thinking about all these like career, like where am I headed? There's absolutely no reason for this information to come to them in a boring way. You get it? Because like it's already stressful. Like, am I going to be a model? Am I going to be? Is life going to be okay? If they're getting that information, laughing their head off, that works for us.
But
But we are saying
Motivational
kutumira
speaker.
cash.
what we're saying is
None of this shit is for free.
That
buy me a
is
coffee
the main message.
Exactly.
Mad.
Yeah.
I'm not Ziva. That was one. Nangachitokupa round of applause.
but,
man.
it's very important.
yeah,
It's
we're
very
very-
important. Zvakakosha.
Yeah. So you.
Saka wara gospel TV broadcasting network chakuti. Our God is an awesome God. He reigns. Yeah.
Houston United.
Don't touch that dial, viewers
Aika.
at home in there.
We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
But you can touch your Apple Pay.
You can touch your bank card.
Yeah. Do you know? I remember going to church. Like the first time I saw my bank details on a screen, like Nguwa offered.
Gosh,
I
how
was
did
like,
you feel?
I was like, no.
Let
I'm,
me tell
I'm
you
telling-
what I felt.
Text
When I
blessing.
first- when this pastor came, right? I was in this church, and then they're like, if you don't have cash, we have ATM machines right outside. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
This was in America. I
Yeah.
was like, these people don't play.
Yeah.
And I'm a
serious.
Christian and all, but sometimes I was just like, wow.
Basically, when they married,
Kana musina mari,
Kana
don't
musina-
worry,
don't
we
worry.
got you
Mara
covered,
kupinda
homie.
but 10 kubuda.
Akataura. Nyasha misel zvaka ari pa Christian
Yeah.
TV.
Yeah. So you're getting your reps in.
Yeah. I was
Getting-
doing that. Voluntary, of course,
Yeah.
serving the Lord. Hallelujah.
Mhm.
And then at the same time, the pastor was kind of talking about passion, life, which applies to everybody. Like outside of like our jobs, what do you believe that, and outside of what you believe in, whether you believe in Jesus, Allah, or whatever, what do you believe that you were put on this earth for? What are you doing to make a difference in people's lives? And that's something that was now like stirring in my heart in a way that you never know. Like, because I now was starting to look for what exactly is my path. Because when I decided to do what I studied, what I told you guys about, I always knew it wasn't my passion. I was just like, to God, I'm going to do this excellently.
Yeah.
And I did. And I had a great life. But I did say to God, you're going to have to direct me to where I actually, like where my passion is.
Yeah.
Where I'm supposed
So
to
he's doing that. And at the same time, I'm doing the TV, whatever stuff at church. And then one day, one of the cameras broke whilst we were live on air. Just when we were on a break. And then, you have talkbacks when you're on set. And so I can hear the director being like, "Oh,
no
camera
training.
3 is
We're
not
natural.
working."
Ungori road dogging
But,
at this point.
we just do what we gotta
Yeah.
do. So then, like, I hear somebody saying that, and then this guy comes and fixes it. And I always remember this because when he came, fixed it, and it's 3, 2, 1, we're live already. I was like, that's what I want to do. That's when it like hit. In conjunction, of course, with the fact that we're studying about like, your passion, whatever.
Yeah.
So went away, prayed about it, looked for, now this is important, looked for Black journalists in the UK that I could possibly like, contact, just kind of, how do I switch from one career to the other?
Yeah. How'd you do
I
it?
could hardly find them.
Yeah.
Is
You
it Trevor?
Trevor, exactly. You're literally, it was only Trevor.
Good evening.
What was his name again? Trevor something. I
McDonald?
forgot. That's it. Trevor McDonald.
Yeah.
And Moira, I think that was her name, like the older lady. So I was like, this ain't okay. So then I always wanted to do a master's as well, to be honest. I almost actually did my master's at Howard University, but I knew that it really wasn't for me. None of the courses were for me. So I was like, okay, I don't mind going to uni for masters for this, because now I know it's like an
This is
investment.
what I want
Yeah,
to
I
do.
remember.
Yeah.
That's bad.
So
That's bad with the G.
that's it. So I quit my job. And then I went to university to do a master's. One of the hardest times of my life, because I'm like a little bit older and I had money, of course, but like to a certain extent, like the whole 9 months, it's one of the best journalism schools in the UK.
Okay.
But it's tough. It's like 5 days,
Yeah.
intense.
In there.
Because you're like studying journalism,
Yeah.
TV journalism, you're expected to come by the Tuesday and deliver a news program. So that weekend, Muruto Chagama stories, sometimes you have to go film and all this stuff. So it's like 7 days a week, man. Like, it was
fine.
crazy.
I like that
So,
kind of...
yeah, it was a bit hectic. So I did that. And you had the opportunity as well to do work experience. The first semester, did some work experience with this company. It was cool, but I knew it wasn't for me. Second semester, I was like, girl, this is the only opportunity you better choose wisely. And the way it was set up is, choose 15 companies that you're like, oh, I wouldn't mind working there. Because the university had a really good link with lots of...
Okay, so they could...
Yeah, just take it for a bit, So I was like, I only go for the best. So my main and only choice that I thought of was I was going to go to BBC at the One Show, because the One Show is one of the flagship programs and they got money. So they've got teams that will teach me what I wanted to do. And at that stage, I wanted to learn more and more of like, filming and stuff.
Yeah.
So I put that as number 1. The rest from 2 to 15, I couldn't tell you what they were because I don't remember. Exactly. That was a level of faith, I have to be honest, because I might not have gotten it.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm not going to 14. I'm with EU. Vakati unofanira no, ndati EU.
Just that one.
Ndati EU.
Yo.
But you might not ndati EU can EU. Hey, man.
Yeah. So I did that. Got it.
Yeah.
And then started working there. But it was only 1 day a week. So 1 day a week, just...
You had to make it count.
You had to make it count. But 1 day a week, my mentor who was supposed to take care of me, right? I used to go in on Wednesdays. That mentor was off when? So Wednesday. So no shanda papi. And you're in a team where you're 100% a minority, right?
Yeah.
Firstly.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're 100% the minority. You also are so like non-entry level, in fact, that nobody even considers you. So like, it's just like, you're very easy to forget.
Yeah.
But when I look back at it, it was good. It toughened me up because once I got there and I realized, oh, this is where I'm at, I had to get some type of like, you need a plan. So I started like getting to know everybody, shadowing everybody. I shadowed from the main guy, the main editor, down to the runners. And by the time it finished, the egg work experience on my last day, I said, anyway, it's my last day. Said, oh, you're leaving us. I was like, yes, but I want a job. And I want you guys to pay me. Because sometimes in journalism industry, sometimes they would take the piss.
They'll take the urine sample.
That's it.
Kutotora ka cupcake votoenda nako kutoenda akatomenda ku lab for my tests vanongoenda nako. Just take it and go.
So that's how you And then they sorted you out.
Yeah, but yeah, they did.
Okay.
Because of, building those relationships with people. When I finally got like a contract, which by the way, I didn't even need to I did not have to interview for it, whatever. I'm on the email, une driving license here. If so, send us a copy. Send them a copy or contracts. That was it. However, if someone would be like, wango pinda. No, it's because of the relationships I built with people.
You had put in work. You had put in work.
And then when I remember on one of our first shoots or whatever, this lady was like, Nyasha, you were here. I saw you, like you were here at work experience, right? And I was like, yeah. She was like, now you're like fully, your work experience is done and you're working. I was like, yeah. She was like, they never do that. They've never done that.
Amazing.
There was a rule. We were also told, because they know the students are so eager for everything. We were told, okay, you guys can, try and get.
Don't expect.
Don't expect. Like,
Don't,
especially
please.
at that team, because it was so big and whatever. Once they'd done the work experience, they felt, taita jutiedu.
We're done.
That's it.
But
so they never recruit.
Tanemi
That was it.
So you're here now. It's 2024.
That's incredible.
It's
But
it's amazing.
this is something that I always say this. When people recount such stories and experiences, I need you to bear in mind. Please, in case there's that young girl who's watching, who's listening, trying to follow in your footsteps and what have you. When you hear these things being discussed in a reflective one, I went to America and then this person asked me, and then I worked in this place and then this person, and then and then I met this person. It makes it seem like munaango pinda mulondromet or worked in this place, uchungoita bare minimum, bare average, just being there. No. Understand that in all of this, when you see something cascading into this, into that, into that, into that, into this, that, and people noticing something, it's not like you look like you're a model. No, it takes a lot of putting yourself out there, being proactive, being personable, being a competent operator. This is something that I feel is just so important for people to understand. Because you can't draw the attention of people if you're not doing something that's just, even in the most basic thing. I was stacking shelves in Tesco and someone took a liking to me.
Yeah.
That person, chances are, they weren't just stacking my shelves in Tesco. No. I'm not just stacking my shelves in Tesco and I'm about a basket of it. Oh, sorry, do you need a hand? What are you looking for? I'll show you where that is. It's over there. But actually, there's a sale on this and then you can find it over there. Boom, boom, boom. And someone thinks, you know what? Voice radio. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
These things aren't just falling on people's laps. There is often a quality that people have that draws other people into the aura. And aura isn't just like wango mira. Same as with you when, in your life story, in your journey, how you wound up in Makamba, Motor Republic and all this, that, and the other. There were qualities in you that they saw. So there has to be an element.
Matezi wanda rufamba mromo wakachena pana da kufidwa anotifentera uyu the first quality yaona kumatezi wata yera 43 kgs pana uyu
unofana kutomba pinda mugraft wakadai.
I remember first days ndichinyora maskit kumagamba ndainyora kana skit inoiruda fish.
Remember,
this is not even a joke. If you go, you find Panaskit to Redza. Kafish Gagari, Dango, Pezza, Kafish, but
It would be so funny if we go back and analyze basket chakandro and see how many of them had food in them.
Yeah.
If you find mama skills in the something kamengo kachicha, you have to hustle, you have to fit in your life.
You must, man.
One of the most impressive thing that I've seen about you, Nyasha, is like when you do some of these interviews. I'm not in the world, but I would assume some of these people that you interview are impossible gets. But you've spoken to some of the most impressive artists, entertainers, just general entertaining, like entertainers, famous people. Who's been the most famous person you've interviewed? And two, your personal favorite. They might not have been like up there, but it might be somebody that you really enjoyed talking to.
A personal starstruck.
Yeah, they surprise you for some reason. I know it's hard.
Yeah, because the catalog.
Let's start with famous.
I just worry about catalog.
No, it's catalog.
It's about Asia. It's like I know this is a bit different, but give us your favorite child.
Deja vu.
They say they're all my favorite now.
That's
Apana's my favorite.
Nah, there's gotta be someone.
There's gotta be.
Okay, maybe.
Let's start with the most famous.
Maybe the first one.
Okay.
Maybe the first one where you felt like, oh snap, ndavura madoor pana.
Oh, I don't know if I've ever thought about ndavura madoor. I mean, you always think that, but I try not to
get
ahead of myself.
Yeah.
You act like you've been there. I hear that. Yeah. I rate that. I like that. You act like you've been there.
One that I thought I never would get actually was Viola Davis.
Ooh,
amazing.
Hey, you've never told jealous with that one.
Not just by herself as well, her husband.
Wow.
It's amazing.
So that
and
was
then
like...
So how does that happen? Is that you
moment.
reaching out? Is that the BBC reaching out? Is that...
No, someone reached out to me and told me that they've got a premiere of Woman Kings happening in Leicester Square.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, bet. All right, cool. Let's do this. So at this stage, I've gotten to a point where everyone is like, okay, listen, we never used to do this because they weren't really trying to do this entertainment stories, whatever.
Yeah.
But I came in and I said, you must, you
You
know?
gotta cover
So
these.
like, but I did that as a way, in the way that I did that was like just doing and delivering stories that they realized, oh, actually people like this and these actually are important stories. It's not just doom and gloom in Africa.
Yeah.
When it comes to Africans as well. So Black stories are important, African stories are important. And so this happened, and I was just like to my editor, this is what's happening. This is the history behind the movie.
Yeah.
Then they said, oh, okay, cool. We should definitely do it. And it was difficult to get Viola, but I got all the filming permissions, everything at the premiere. And it was actually, the way I got her was amazing because, like, you know, you're all press and you're standing there.
Yeah.
And there's only a few different people that she actually spoke to. They always have a person who, like...
No.
It's like,
Yeah.
over there,
Yes.
no.
I remember the lady.
Yeah.
She literally, like, bypassed these people who were next to me and
From
then she came
eye
straight to
contact.
me.
Yeah.
The Viola and her husband were directed to me. They gave me lots of time and then they bypassed everybody else. And then I remember the people who were next to me had to, like...
Yeah.
They had to get like you know, everyone's mic was on her
Yeah.
because they're like, we know she there's no way she's going
like
to
a
talk to us.
person
So
that
I don't
mic
go to all my questions at Wito or Nyasha Michelle. Yeah. So got her
Fine.
and she was very you know, it's different from when you sit down with them and really spend as much time as you can with them. Which wasn't really possible just because of her schedule. But nonetheless, she spoke to us, spoke to me, and she was engaging, and it wasn't just like 2 minutes and then she's gone. Like
she
was
like,
answering
okay,
and thinking and
we'll
considering.
chat to you.
Especially because everything is not all roses and everything. Like, you know, one of my questions was a little bit challenging. Just I forgot, so I don't necessarily want to misquote myself, but it was just about the misrepresentation of, I think, the main characters.
Or because
something like that.
there was some guans between, because apparently Woman King, I mean, historically they weren't actually good people. They were enslaved.
So that's it. Yeah, like the fact that they sold their people, etc., etc. And then so she was just like, well, it's not something that we even glossed over. It's something that we actually spoke about in the
movie.
In the movie, like we addressed in the movie. So I can't necessarily say everything that because I don't necessarily remember. So go watch the interview.
No,
Then you know exactly what she said.
Well, you think we're gonna miss an opportunity to put Viola Davis instead of our guest in the? Come on, relax.
2-for-1.
Na Antigua.
3-for-1.
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 So Viola Davis, number
Yeah.
2.
Number 2, as in like my favorite or most famous.
Memorable.
Memorable.
Like, this is cool. Where
Guys-
you thought, yeah, this is cool.
Okay, let's restrict it a little
Maybe
bit.
Zagawandisa.
Music.
You know what?
Yeah.
Good. Because I was
Music.
going to say someone who guys, I said in that interview.
Yeah.
XQ.
Oh, that's
Excuse.
Mr.
Pudidi.
Pudidi.
Bruh.
The smooth one.
The way
was
I
too
was
smooth.
laughing in that interview,
Yeah.
I was just like,
Nah,
those
nah.
people who just
Shout
kind
out.
of just, they come in,
Yeah.
they do their thing, and I got to know a lot more about him. Like,
Yeah.
this guy's been in the industry for
Oh,
years.
oh my God.
Because I was about to say,
For decades.
I need I believe he will be turning 25 years
Yeah.
in the game next year.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, Leonard.
Leonard.
All right.
Leonard. Not Leonard though.
Tademba.
That one, keep
Come
that one
on.
on.
I believe he'll be turning 25 next year, right? And
25
I would
years in the game.
25 years in the game. And
Yeah.
I want everybody's help in helping us bully Mkoma Enoch so that he does something big
Yeah.
for the 25th.
He has to.
I believe that moment needs to be marked. I believe because one of the things that happens in Zimbabwean culture is that we don't have documentation of some of these things. Some of
Yeah.
these things come and go, and sometimes
criminal.
Munashaya, what.
Yeah.
But I would want, like how they did Asha's 25. I don't want to get into the mechanics of how they would do it, but I just want an occasion, HICC, a big thing. People come out in celebration of XQ, Mr.
Yeah.
Puridi, all the iterations. It started off as Musalala, came Mr. Puridi, came, all
Yeah.
these things, and where he is now, still giving us incredible music.
Lifetime Achievement Award. type
He
shit.
got a Lifetime Achievement Award
At the
at the
last-
Namas
the
last year,
last Nama. Oh,
but
nice.
it didn't hit for me.
It didn't slap.
Do you got what I mean?
Yeah,
it didn't.
definitely.
It didn't hit
Yeah.
like it felt like it is a thing that happened as a side note to Ngrin. I want a day that's all about him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you get it? People show up and they
Yeah.
know Kuti, this is about him. It's different. Young artists, old artists performing his old music. He gives us a performance. His wife and children come out. They
Look at
receive their
curator.
big
Yeah, I know.
plaque
Yeah, we
of
do.
what. I
Yeah.
want to see
There you
that
go.
because
Yeah.
if Zimbabwean artists know, if I have a brilliant career, I can achieve
I'm
this.
going to be celebrated like
Yeah.
this.
We
Yeah.
get incredible music.
Yeah.
We get people staying in. We get young artists knowing Kuti, this is something that they can strive for. I would love to see. He was at Zimfest this past weekend. Incredible performance, man. And you know when you can tell somebody's just showing off at this point, like I can
Bro, the FOMO.
He's
The
so smooth.
FOMO.
He
Too
is
good
so.
with it.
He doesn't even break a sweat.
Kinda.
It's, Ngati itemsikanzwa.
Baby.
And all the bad beds are like, baby, yeah. And you're like, yo. But yeah, so you just to you also need to share with the people. People keep asking, Mdara kept you.
No, Kepsi, so new line. You can catch these on maidensway.com/shop. Even these, even
Even
Even then do it is Maidens way. I used to zike zvayo pa.
No, honestly, guys.
Rugwa Maidens way. Do it Maidens way.
Matching set, but then
What do you mean matching set?
this in the
But
top.
On what confuser?
Oh no, but it's no way to go anyway.
As a waiter, you made it work.
No, you made it work. No,
But
you have to mix and match.
Is
So Maidens way.
maidensway.com/shop. That's
Yeah.
the new. Go check that out, guys. To become a fresh.
Just plug
But
it in. Take another sip for our
I was
sponsors.
literally about to say taking a little. Hey,
Just
you have to my crazy tapes.
yeah, just to remind you. Kuti.
Could we drinking nice? Matopos,
Matopos.
Matopos gin.
Gian, Yama G's, gin juice.
Yeah. But Jirao Panguyo gin is like a fancy Jirao. It's like
It's a fancy one.
So it's a
100%.
fancy
Fancy one.
Yeah.
It's in my cobbled streets and screw. You know what I'm saying? Pane my guys angori chilling. Kana amanir panobuda ma floodlights type of thing.
Fancy.
Yeah.
Fancy.
Tinesola.
Tinemasola.
Yeah. So you enjoyed XQ?
Yeah, he was funny, man.
Yeah.
He was funny. I like when I talk to people who they know what they've achieved. Yeah. Like you were talking about these performances by Zimfest, you're just like, come on now, you're just showing up, right? But when you know that you've achieved so much, and then you come and you sit next to somebody who you don't even know.
Yeah.
You know, his team didn't have to say yes to the interview.
Yeah.
But like he came and the interview, the questions, the games, you know, like he got into it. And I was just like, you know, I never expected myself to just be laughing like this, but also for him to just be cool and, you know, calm.
Because he could have easily been standoffish and like, I'm just here for the what and then,
or giving me a vibe that some of you Zimbabwean artists do.
Right. That's where I was going.
Did they give you
who's been the most difficult?
Are you mad?
Who's been the most quiet?
Who's been the most?
You can tell the story and then tell us the person afterwards.
No, I don't think I have. No, I no.
You definitely do.
All I'm going to say is now this is very important, yeah? I'm a Zimbabwean journalist, in where I work, right? And pushing African stories, positive African stories was like a thing that I was like, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
That's something I want to speak about.
Let alone Zimbabwean stories. I will never, ever, ever be ashamed of the fact that, yes, I'm biased. If I can get a Zimbabwean in there, I'll do okay, a worthwhile story, of course. Shameless.
Nick Mangwa. Chinoera Jonathan Moore. Every time she passes up a Zimbabwean interview, she has a poster of Jonathan Moore in her bedroom. She's like, I've let you down. You know that meme?
Yeah. Dexter's like, I've let you down.
I'm sorry, I've let you.
Oh my God. Yeah, we can't.
No, you can. You don't have to say. You don't have to say the name. But like, give us the circumstances. Like, what was happening? What were they not answering questions? Like, he had something happen prior. Yeah.
We want it.
Right. Okay. So, essentially, what it was is that I get it sometimes with certain artists where mainly their team, even them themselves, they know that this is a good opportunity. I mean, come on. It's a great opportunity. But then, man, vanhu manje vanovatanga kugaya English, manje. You know, and like, but I think that the reason why I say that is because that was the first thing I was told. So I was trying to get a particular artist. And then their whole team was literally, I think their team even reached out to me. And they were like, "Well, great, we're going to do it. It's amazing." And then there's just, now things are like slowing down in terms of us sorting things out. And I go, kochi manje, pampane excitement. And then I was just told, you know what, I think some of these, and I'm just going to put it all together. Like, you know, some of these people, it's because, firstly, some of them do not recognize the importance of getting involved in these.
Right.
Yeah, they don't.
Which makes no sense.
Yeah.
If you're thinking that, okay, all I want to do is to come to the UK and then just perform to just my Zimbabwean people and just go back to Zimbabwe and then that's it. That's your level of success that you want. Yeah. That's cool. But you know, a lot of these artists who are like, maybe let's say not Zimbabwean, who've received like global success. They are clever with it.
They understand.
They understand.
Imagery,
you know?
PR.
Speaking to
the math for them has to math. You know what I mean? They're like, okay, cool. Okay, cool. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. You know, they have PR training. They're not trying to be all up in there like chirungu manje, all these different things. And even if it's not about chirungu, because I'm not just saying that. And by the way, I'm only saying that because that's what I was told. They also see the importance of it. So some of them kind of just think, oh, it's nothing. But then when they see, and I've had Zimbabwean people come to me like, and I'm like, nah, actually, it's not because I don't want to put our Zimbabwean people on game.
But I want the value.
They're saying no.
Yeah, some of them will say no. Some of them don't say no, but
they make it difficult.
They make it so difficult that toto kangano. Like we literally forget, and then we just leave it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but when
at
they
the end of the day,
complain,
it's the BBC.
Come on.
Like, let's be serious.
You come to us, we don't come to you.
You are blooting in the BBC twice. And you're like,
I will fight
it's all right.
Come on.
But if you talk about, because I've seen artists like for a while, a few years,
Yeah.
even before I started doing like, this job, like I would hear certain artists complain like, Munongo is my Nigerian music videos, banana MTV, banana whatever, radio, one extra, chichichi, them complaining. But it's like, if at that stage, if you're not kind of like putting yourself in the positions where you are ready, some of these people, they've gotten to those stages because they're on it. Like their teams make sure that, okay, we have an opportunity to do this interview.
just trying.
Go and do it.
Yeah,
we're just gonna go and do it. And there isn't this like, just kind of beating about the bush, or we want to do it, we don't want to do it, and then it doesn't happen. The good thing that I will say is that a lot of them have that's definitely improved. It's gotten better.
Yeah.
But I think what I would say is that some of the artists just prepare. They're great performers, right? But then when you now have them come in and you're talking to them, because the idea is, for me, if I'm talking to you, you're not talking to me, right? I want you to be talking to the globe. My guy.
I'm just a conduit.
That's it.
But
yeah. So be ready. You know what I mean? You're confident. The reason why you're even here is because people know that you're talented. I know you're talented. You're gifted. You're amazing with your singing, your rapping, whatever it is that you do. So just bring that confidence and just do it. Don't look down on yourself. Because I think that's kind of been what I've kind of like seen a few times.
Oh yeah, I mean, because I get it.
Imposter syndrome.
And it's even more so when you are now in a country where there's like a functioning media industry as opposed to Zimbabwe, where the platform where it's going to be going and but when it's here, you're like, oh shit, BBC. I don't even know if I belong to be here.
But they belong there. They do. Yeah. That's it. So I think that's all that. Some of the things that I've seen have been like just little setbacks.
Yeah.
And other little things, but that's all. That's what we're gonna say.
But you're big on championing, African stories, African whatnot, to people who are unfamiliar with Nyasha Michelle. Like, there's a lot of stories that break that are surrounding Africa, Southern Africa, and whatnot, which I sometimes see, and I'm pretty sure Nyasha Michelle, man, had a finger in this type stuff. And you mentioned you moved over here when you were 12. I moved over here when I was 17. And I bring up you having come here at 12 and that having, like, for most people, it has a big impact on how they view themselves, how they self-identify in a foreign land. When you're 12, you're pubescent, you're an adolescent, you're grappling with your identity. Who are you? Kumba moms were running my lecture in Shona and whatnot. They're trying to impose like cultural aspects from back home, but the environment is just the opposite of that, because the place where you spend most of your time, which is at school, diametrically opposed. So that often puts young people, in somewhat of a predicament. I was fortunate, like I said, when I came, I was 17. I had somewhat of an identity. I had an idea of who I am and where I'm coming from, and and that period, which is something maybe like a Kandoro would not be so privy to, but there was a period where Raimakisa to be African. Bro, when kuchikoro, when we're in the dorm, someone saying to you, shut up, you African. I don't know, it was just as good as shut up, mom's wako. not even just saying that, in a way that everyone knows.
Yeah.
School parents' evening. And like you have no retort.
Oh!
You have no comeback to that.
Literally.
Like, you just have to take it. Fuck, I am doing African shit.
Yeah.
Because BBC no vaya uya maneri papa na 8 p.m. chiti ku Zimbabwe
Zara.
kunenzara ovharatidza mashelf ane dust ari
Empty.
Ovanzi ndoko anobva nyarara. So it was hard to carve that. How did you sort of reconcile that with your identity? Were you always pro-African, pan-African, or did you have a period? Particularly in America, it's interesting. I don't know if that was the similar dynamic in the States as it was in the UK. I would like to believe. I mean, right now, this discourse here, Americans can always tell the difference between an African and an African American.
Can you imagine?
Stuff. Like, we're still there. We're still there. How was that for you? What was that experience like?
I think when I first came, it was more of like the shock and pure hatred of the difference of how life was like in the UK in comparison to Zimbabwe.
Okay.
It was more of like, those childish things. Like I remember looking out the window and I was like to my mom,
Yep.
I'll kumba like
Yeah.
literally, and my mom laughed. She was like, "This is different in this
Ain't
country."
nobody do that.
So and then like the ignorance was I think like the main thing. I remember my first school, I had this teacher. Yeah, it's my first day. They did that classic thing that they do in those like American movies. I get to the front of they put me at the front of the class. Hi guys, we have a new student. Her name is Nyasha. Nyasha. And then he goes, she's from Zimbabwe. Where's that? Like
the fuck that at?
These kids did not know where Zimbabwe was.
No surprises.
Probably still don't.
And someone can turn around and be like, well, they were 12. But actually, when at 12, I knew a lot.
I knew it.
We all knew a lot. Our education was like,
yep.
So I remember looking at them like, y'all are dumb as what?
Thick.
Okay, cool. So that's fine. And then like, that's just the beginning, right? And then high school was fine, but definitely the Black Caribbeans made us feel bad for being African.
Yeah. I know they had the stick. So much so, a lot of us would say, I'm Caribbean. They wouldn't say we're African. But in Nango, not me. I've always
that
been
one,
Zimbabwe.
like people, you would end up just being like, so like people would come up to me and my friend, right? I had a best friend who was dark-skinned Jamaican. Beautiful girl. And people would come up to us and say, oh, where you guys from? And I'll be like, I'm from Africa. I'm from Zimbabwe. And then she would be like, she's from Jamaica. Stupid, ignorant people who say, no, you're from Africa. You're from Caribbean. So they'll tell you, I'm from Caribbean because I wasn't as dark-skinned as her.
Colorism.
You know what I mean? Like, she actually ended up hating me. I have a feeling it's got something to do with that. But it was the ignorance of young children.
Yeah, of course. They're cruel.
People.
Kids are cruel.
Yeah.
Wow, what a story, man. We are here still standing. You survived.
No, soon come tensions were ahead of something BBC,
that's what
head of something like that. Sounds
There was a kerfuffle, as is always the case down home.
Oh, in the end,
someone with a blue passport visited our hallowed land of Zimbabwe. It started off well. Do you know, I've gotten to the point of like, this is how much of a Zimbabwean I am.
Yeah.
Anytime I see something starting off well,
you're like,
I know.
Skeptic. Fair enough.
You give it 48 hours.
You have a formula.
Very most,
it's a formula.
49 hours. at the very most.
Make room for daylight savings.
So here's the cycle.
Yeah.
Right? A clip comes out. People are like, oh my God, I didn't know so-and-so is in Zimbabwe.
Mm-hmm.
There's a euphoria of excitement. Oh my God, this is so dope. Oh, they look like they're having fun. You give time. There's a buffer. You give time for a certain contingent to wake up and
Hypocrisy.
find fault
Jeez.
into. It happened with Will Smith. It happened with Steve
Harvey.
It happened again. And these are just the interviews that I'm calling from the top of my head.
Yeah.
So the first clip that came out, Tiffany Haddish, renowned comedian, black comedian, American comedian. We see her in Pablo's.
Was it Pablo's?
That's the first clip that came
The first clip was Pablo's?
Yes.
I thought Vic Falls was the first one and Pablo's ensued.
No, that wasn't a clip. That was a picture. She just... the picture, Vic Falls... Of which with Vic Falls, people rarely, like these days.
She did a video
people
in the supermarket in Vic Falls.
No, that wasn't in Vic Falls.
No.
Was
that
not
was
in
now
Vic
in
Falls?
Harare.
That was now in Harare.
That was now in Harare.
Snap.
So the
Ndio
picture,
yakaita
she posted a picture in Vic Falls, and with Vic Falls, Zimbabweans rarely, because there's a whole, is she in Zim side?
Is she in Zambia?
side?
Yeah.
So there was nothing there.
We were unshaken.
Then there was a clip of her in Pablo's. Having a good time, grand old time. She's twerking,
Twerk some.
She's having fun. Oh my God, this is so random. Ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha.
Huh.
That one I
Oh.
didn't see that one, but all right.
Interesting.
Quack.
Go back,
Within.
yeah.
Within the withins. Tiffany and she did a video where she is at Highlands Park and she's exclaiming that she's in a grocery shop and it's well stocked and there's food and she's what.
Aisles. Dog food, cat food. That's
They
what
got dog food.
And do you know what? I'm such a Zimbabwean that I didn't even watch the video. I just knew it wasn't going to end well.
Shay.
Me son.
I don't even know what she said in the video. I just saw her walking in because I'm very familiar with Highlands Park. When you walk in, you see the greens. They're right by the door. And you see the fridges with the fish and chicken and whatever. And you...
Nice.
I just knew it wasn't going... And I didn't look for it. I knew I would come back and it would be Hovio. But Jeripa 2, I need to say this.
Okay.
It's half and half. That Zimbabweans, I don't know why we're so trigger happy with some of these things. But come on, guys. Some of these things is like we get baited into some of these things. And we keep playing into the... Because it almost feels like, you know, like when those companies used to market, like rage marketing, and they would do things that they knew they would intentionally get called out on.
Yeah.
And it would go viral, like, oh, they put a black kid and they
in a monkey
there's
jumper.
no way a whole chain of Nigerian who don't know that's crazy.
That's
right? And it's like, okay, fair enough. Tiffany didn't know, but guys, there's actually nothing that offensive about this because we know Kuti Americans, the average American, they are not that
They
smart.
don't even. They haven't even left their state.
They're not that.
They haven't left their states.
If the general assumption is Africa is full, this is not an surprising take.
They're
I'm
ignorant.
I'm not because if you give yourself room to say but then the person specific to this, Miss Haddish herself, she's not known for saying things that are like, bro. She's not.
That was a very positive take.
She's not known for saying things that are politically correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's not known for that. I remember in the midst of all this,
she's recovering herself.
Whatever.
Yeah,
she was on a trip. She was like, "I'm going to educate myself." She could have educated herself. Like she's not known for saying some of the
bad calls,
right? And then prior to that, when that whole thing with the Me Too movement and sexual harassment, there was a case that they had forced these kids to
the one with Aries Spears.
Yeah, there was a whole court case, and then it was dropped and all these things, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes we just need to give room.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm talking about vulgar.
Oprah comes out and says that, you're like, hold up, Oprah.
Oh.
You know better.
So you hold her to a higher regard.
Because I expect Oprah is a
better.
book club. I expect,
Unoverenga.
I expect Oprah to be.
She's had PR people before we even knew.
Yeah.
And the crazy
Before
thing
we even knew
about
that's a
the
joke.
crazy thing about the rage, like now speaking to us people, right? The crazy thing about the rage is that, bro, like some of these things we are giving weight to opinion emunui. It didn't have weight before we got angry. Because do you know who was on CNN?
True.
Today?
Who?
Tiffany Haddish.
For real.
Tiffany Haddish responds to the backlash that
Oh,
she
yeah.
responds.
Yeah.
Was Tiffany Haddish on CNN before?
No.
When she comes out next week and she promotes her new tour dates, who's done that? Who's done that? Because we refuse to let sleeping dogs lie. Like, bro, if I go to South Africa and I say, oh my goodness, the criminality in this. Oh my goodness, I can't believe South Africa has what?
Yeah.
Right? Who does it benefit for that to trend? It benefits me.
You. Because people going to be talking about you.
They're talking about you.
It benefits me. So that's I'm like, guys, let's not play, because
So you think we literally just fell on the bait? We fell for the bait.
I don't even think it was bait.
I don't know if it was bait.
It wasn't bait.
I don't know if it was bait.
But she made hay whilst the sun shined.
I don't know if it was. I wouldn't want to give her that. I don't think she's.
It was intentional.
Yeah, I don't think she wanted to be mean.
There's no malintent.
But at the end of the day, it worked in her favor.
I think it was an endorsement. If anything,
it
was an endorsement. In her head,
she
it
thought
was
yeah,
an
big.
Yeah.
But
But
the problem is she doesn't know what Zimbabweans we have pride.
Pride.
Damn. Exactly. But But that's not a compliment to him, because he's like,
Yeah.
do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So ndasvika kudeni kwaMnasha indofunga kuti ndikumbiga kuti anishandisa 2-ply.
Damn.
Like, you better know, nigga.
What the fuck you think this is, girl?
We Zimbabweans, like, we are some of the most prideful Africans, and for the most part that works in our favor, right? For the most part it helps us excel. We have a
When we go to foreign lands
and
we're
of who we are as a people, and we push.
When I tell Nyasha,
you're doing crazy things. Our
Wild.
artists, even our CEOs,
Wild.
even Munashe, Arba West End, all these things, right?
Yeah.
Wild.
What we fail to take into account is sometimes just give people grace. Not everybody means to offend.
Yeah.
That's the starting position. Not everybody means to offend, but sometimes even when they offend, it's okay. They were let it go.
If any,
it doesn't.
we should have capitalized on that. Doubled down.
Is it though?
No, but Uruguanachi, Tiffany is black.
Yeah.
That should come with some grace.
The fact that she's black.
No. Of maliciousness. I'm talking of just grace. We should like she did. This is more ignorant than it is malicious.
Yes, it's more ignorant
than it is malicious.
That's all
if
it
was
is.
a white person, if it was a white American, then I'm like,
Saka, they can't
Jenny
be.
Livingstone.
I won.
No. They can be ignorant, but based off history, I'm like,
No.
I don't know.
No.
Discover pick and pay.
Pick and pay
Wakatochinja name.
Taka invent a point of sale system.
George Washington grocery.
Abawabina mna TM.
I'm saying just based off historical context, there's certain things that I just give grace. I'm like, you know what? You are more ignorant than you are malicious.
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't mean to be harmful, but it's still harmful. But I will give you grace that you didn't intend to.
But then
I don't think it was harmful though.
But this
To us, I don't think it was harmful.
Here's the
Ego.
Ego.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But
You should have known
now,
why did you assume that
as if once upon a time tangati story.
Exactly. What is the BBC stance on this?
You know what? Because side eye kandakupa guys.
Yeah, I know.
What is the British Broadcasting Corporation's position on this?
What do they have to say?
I bet you would like to know.
We do.
Views represented by Nyasha
before
Michelle
I
are not
even-
representative of the British Broadcasting Corporation. All views expressed are personal and in no way tied to
Which is very true.
They are
to the
in no
BBC.
way.
Una. Kaziso.
Trying to run away from making this a 2-hour episode just to Zimfest weekend.
My host Kamdar.
Yeah.
Wow, what was that saying?
On that stage.
Yeah.
The big yay!
You see that nod?
I see.
I know what I was doing. Yeah, I did that.
I've been doing
I did that.
Do you know? You at Zimfest came in late.
I came in late, guys.
Mr. Nasha was dying with FOMO.
I was.
Saka unotombopinda. At least
No,
I got
it
to
was a
speak.
graft.
Stage.
It was a graft. We're
Okay,
different
okay.
stages.
Fair enough.
I walked away from this Zimfest with my mind blown. Because the level of work that goes behind the skins, I knew,
Of course.
but I didn't know.
You never know until you're like there. and
I
you see
didn't
it. It's
know.
mad.
Trust me, as someone who's been a partner in
I didn't know. That scale of the detail and how many people are behind the scenes trying to make it happen. People who
Ridiculous.
never get credit.
Yep.
Never get
Yeah.
credit. I just want to say, first of all, big shout out to the Zimfest team. I just want to, thank you for giving me that opportunity. Speaking to 13,000 people at one time is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Also,
It's
we
crazy.
both hosted Zimfest now.
It's crazy.
Your tent was fire, though.
Yeah.
Your tent was
The-
fire. I
the-
just gotta say.
So they have.
But what's the main stage?
We are talking about 13,000 people at the main stage, right? And I'm talking now about the mechanics of what was happening. There's 13,000. There's almost like 3,000 or so people at the Amapiano stage, right? With Daliwonga and whatever. This has happened concurrently. But before any of this happens, these people are processing visas. They're getting all the artists, their managers, their band members here, and they're taking care of them 7 days prior to this.
Up to 7 days.
Because there's rehearsals.
Yeah.
7.
So for the artists, Winky D brings his band, but
Yeah.
there's certain artists that don't have a band and they provide the band. So
there's
those
like a
artists
house
have
band,
to
resident band.
that have to rehearse.
Say
Probably
Learn
was
their
there.
songs.
He was part of. So there's people that drive these people in.
Yeah.
There's dedicated at the hotel that there were at least 4 different divers. There's guys who are handling press. There's guys who are handling media. There's guys who are handling stores.
Ticketing is this whole thing on its own.
Different guys.
Marketing, whole thing.
I say all this to say, when
Yeah.
people say, "Oh, Zimfest guys," when we criticize some of these things, I mean, granted, not many people would have this information, right? One of the criticism that comes with Zimfest is people say, "Oh, Zimfest, there's always traffic after the show."
There's
But
13,000
that is
people
it.
in the park.
Wait. Glastonbury, there's always traffic.
Of course.
Do you know what-
Wireless,
do you know-
there's
do you-
always
do you know what I
traffic.
found-
Any
do you know
festival,
what I-
there's always
do you know what I
traffic.
It's
found out?
impossible.
Glastonbury, the traffic is 3 days long.
Yeah. There's times when people never made it to.
Because when
The
Glastonbury is
traffic is
on,
I'm not even gonna-
it's
long.
the 6th
Makes no
biggest
sense.
city in the UK when Glastonbury is going on.
Damn.
That's how many.
'Cause
How
it's
can they
100,000
not-
people.
How can there not be traffic?
So that's what I'm
used to
saying. So
complain.
like some of
Good
these
traffic.
things, we shouldn't be those people that nitpick. Because, bro, the stage have you ever looked at something and said, this costs a lot of money?
Nah, that
Brother,
stage was fire.
Believe
it was nice.
me,
That stage was ridiculous.
Yes.
And you know the crazy thing about that stage? They set it up 7 days before.
That's it.
It's hired per day.
Organization. A per day.
Per day.
somewhere the
Damn.
moving parts in organizing something. So much so, I'll tell you for free.
There's not a single artist
Right.
that I've ever seen Achiti Zimfest name Mariam.
They have right now, as we speak, I'm almost certain of it. vachipedza recap and whatnot, give it a week or two, no more than that. They're already going into preparation for next year.
Yep.
Now, you cannot pull it off if it doesn't start now.
No. It's incredible.
They are dating in their heads. Next 2025
we're doing
and that ball's rolling.
Like everything, the
crowd
details,
management.
like the crowd management.
But when I was saying your tent, didn't you do a Maiden's Way tent?
Yeah,
so 2 years ago. That's the one I was talking about.
So the Amapiano tent that the second stage, basically the second stage.
Yeah.
We used to do the second stage. That was lit.
No,
Pro
that was
Beats
lit.
Pro Beats was there.
Yeah.
Killed it.
Yeah.
That was before Amapiano was.
That's actually where I first met him.
Amapiano. It just used to be like the second stage. But
it was dope.
Yeah, man. It used to be fire. I miss them days.
Yeah.
Good old days. But now too many Toros going on. It's
Okay, fun fact. I don't know if it's a fact, but I want someone to please write in the comments if you know another one. So one of the things I've been saying very proudly. Okay, of all African countries, all African nations, right? Here in the UK, which other country has a big annual festival as big as Zimfest? I'm not being sponsored to say none of this.
No.
Right?
From my understanding, Zimfest for the long, I don't know if it's still the case, but certainly for the years that we were running the second stage, it's been the biggest sub-Saharan African festival.
Is Amafest?
They don't count.
It's
not. And it's also not as big.
It's not a particular country.
It's not a particular
It's not a particular country because it's not that it's only. Of course, Zimfest, we know there's other artists who are not from Zimbabwe, but like the thing that we must Zimbabwean to know
Zimba,
you know, like there is
annually.
Ghana in the park
is not as big.
It's not as big as, I mean, if we're talking 13K, fire.
Also,
we're talking 13K on one stage.
On one day.
Those people on one stage.
And on Saturday only.
Yeah, but those people easily could touch 15, 16K if we are at the
Plus,
Amapiano stage. I'm talking officially. Undocumented question.
You literally had to do that.
Shift, Amapiano.
If they have to they must thank my COS.
COS festival.
I remember once upon a time that was actually a problem. Like the first year we ran the second
shifts.
Night shift. Long day. Banangane long day. Yeah. It was actually a thing. When you want to 7,000, we've reached capacity. In fact, Tatuwandisa, this might compromise our licensing for next year. But can I talk about 13 racks? It means the thing is growing.
Big shout out to everybody who puts money into this, man. I saw Mukuru, Nyaradzo, Diaspora Insurance, Remitly. I saw EcoCash there. I saw all these incredible stores, man. People selling food. The Masiwas were there. I think they also wanted to cleanse their palate. They just come from the Indian flash wedding. They were like, you know what? Let's go touch. Let's go touch grass. Yeah, I don't know why you did that, but that's okay. Like, bruh,
I have a black friend.
Like why
my
the
best
fuck?
friend is black.
Why you do that? You know they are my homies. They are our homies. What the fuck? Why are you trying to exclude yourself? The fuck? Like you know they are my homies. What the fuck, bro? Like,
Rolex.
Why was that necessary?
Necessary information, bro.
Okay, so the reason.
No.
Okay, I've got a deeper reason.
No, we don't hear deeper reason. Nonsense. No, but guys, Nyasha, where can the people find you?
Oh my gosh. Trying to be serious. This guy. Where can people find me?
Yeah.
All right. You guys can find me on the socials at Nyasha Michelle _. That's it.
Yeah.
On the Instagram.
Yeah.
Trying to get on that TikTok, whatever, you know. What? Twitter?
Yeah.
Twitter?
X.
But yeah, man, this has been another episode of the one and only.
No, but before you dip,
Yeah?
I gotta. Sorry.
You want to separate yourself again?
No, I don't want
Okay,
to.
what you want to say?
No.
What you want to say, man?
So the discourse. Sorry, quick. I just want to hear your thoughts on it. Spark notes it. Discourse on Twitter. South African contestant beauty pageantry after
yeah.
I felt it would be criminal not to just hear you all out on what's your thoughts, what's your stance on this? Should she pull out of it? Should she carry on? Considering there was a petition, you're getting a 15,000 target.
Fuck
Like
those haters.
Fuck those haters.
If there's
But my niggas vanozombeta babarika vanogona ngokupisira ngono yevanhu for nothing. We can do the fuck the haters, but the fuck the haters can have real consequences.
I think this is the perfect time to say fuck the haters. If the South African government wants to send a communication that there is zero tolerance for any xenophobia, any kind of isms, right? Because the xenophobia in this particular case has zero grounds. This young woman has a South African mother.
She was born there.
That should disqualify anything.
Because
I short circuit when I get upset.
You be back.
Trevor Noah, how come?
Darage Swiss.
How come? Is that not a?
How can she slap?
How come? What's the difference here?
How can she slap?
What is the difference here? What is the actual difference here?
No, I'll raise you one.
What is the actual difference?
Beast.
That's even
like
worse.
Zimba.
Because
akatokura ane Zimbabwean birth certificate. Tinotoziva chikoro kwaenda kuZimbabwe. Like
so,
we know the
I say that to say
there.
This is an opportunity for the South African government, whether she wins or not. By virtue, they give her all the protection she deserves.
They're not about to even ministers are jumping on the bandwagon.
Any threat should be treated
taken seriously,
as seriously, and should be
enacted on
immediately. Because if she pulls out, then they win. It sends an even stronger message, right? That they can bully whoever.
Yeah.
Unwarranted, because this kind of platform is a slippery slope, right? They start off by saying these people that Vanema qualify and green, and then they'll just go off to somebody they don't like. Even people that qualify, they'll just go off to people that they don't like. This is by virtue of we've been emboldened now. We can demand what we want and we can get away with it. So where does it end?
Because you know what? I love South Africa. Inyika ya chengeta muri yangu and my relatives and whatnot. They're my neighbors. I'm proud of them as a nation. They're doing the thing. I'm with it. It's any rugby, World Cup, cricket, retete, I'm backing SA to the hills. But
very disappointing. I have a What's your take, Nasha?
Can we it feels like a trauma response, like one unresolved trauma in way that we cannot run away from. It blows my mind, bro. Like
they're doing themselves a disservice. Like that can be the thing that, like, as a country, your identifier can't be xenophobia. Like Tsiurana Pachiri.
They love
like them. Bro. Like you Tsiurana Pachiri. Like even the
bro,
people.
This is a country, Woti. If you and I were born in South Africa, we would have been born in an era where people would have stickers and areas designated Zagans, not white only. No. Europeans only. Listen. Be racial and discriminate me and ostracize me from areas and exclude me and oppress me and whatnot in the name of being white and I being black. But when you say European on African soil, and then 10 years later, you want to come and say, no, I was born here, therefore I'm African. When you were making a big point about saying European only, when did that change to African?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Where do you stand on this?
That there cooks me.
I think it's a very
So the BBC. What was that?
Mother anchor.
To text on a BBC.
The BBC texted us.
nah.
Yeah.
And the Muruch Manu apart. Do you want to come do this in the BBC studio?
Do you want to take Black and Forth to the next frontier?
The next level. You guys, your jokes are wild.
Yeah.
If anything,
we love living on
if anything,
Literally.
Yeah. If anything, next episode, you don't know
Pama steps. Tichitaura vanachipinda that
pachiglass BBC pachiglass
zoita nezvekwedzi
zoshanda upi haisi dead weight we need to streamline we need to streamline
tamba nevazukuru.
You guys,
what do you think about President Idi? Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of
Black and Forth
with Nyasha, Michelle.
What a way to end.
Mine's
what a note to end it on.
Yeah. And do you know what's crazy?
Yeah. Welcome. This is Black and Forth. 2 black kings and we got that sauce. They don't really make them like we know more. Back truck teddy that cause we know more than anybody you know. Jokes. Kova chango shika madiko my boss. Pano pakazada my friends nema ops munu wese adi welcome. This is Black and Forth.